Hi, my name is Madeline Martin, and I'm a professional integrated success coach at Transformative Learning. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the power of pruning. So, what does it mean to prune? For all of my plant lovers, this exercise is going to be an easy one to remember. For those of you who may be unfamiliar with the term, the act of pruning is the intentional cutting of dead or unhealthy branches from a plant in order to focus the plant's resources on its healthy branches and encourage growth. So, how do we think this translates to human behavior? Well, we as humans can be very similar to plants in the fact that we focus our time and energy on areas of our lives that are not helping us grow to our fullest potential. So, when was the last time that you felt stuck or in a place that was lacking growth? Today we're going to focus on 3 steps we can take to evaluate what our healthy and unhealthy branches are before we determine what may need to be pruned to encourage more growth. First thing I want you to do is think of a plant, any kind of plant or tree. Then take a minute to pause this video and draw that plant on a piece of paper. Don't color it in yet, because we'll get to that part in a minute. Now, before we get ahead of ourselves, I want to ask you some questions, and I want you to really think about your answers. Feel free to pause and jot down some notes under your plant if you want to remember your responses. So, what are some of the things that your plant needs to grow? What things could hinder that growth? How can you take care of your plant once you notice that it's not doing well? Now, imagine if we are that plant. What do you think the two of you have in common? As we enter into a plant mindset, and you've already drawn your plant, we're ready to start our 3 simple steps to encourage growth. So, step number 1, we need to take a moment to really think about our common behaviors and if they are helpful or potentially harmful. So next to your plant, I want you to brainstorm some thoughts about things in your life that are currently helping you grow. These can be behaviors or opportunities that are encouraging personal growth as an individual, or maybe intellectual growth as a student. Once you've identified your healthy branches, let's take a minute to think about the things in your life that are hindering or preventing your growth. These could be people, habits, or anything that comes to mind that feels like it's standing in your way of becoming a better version of yourself. So now that we've found your healthy and unhealthy branches, I want us to take a second to measure the impact those branches are having on you. This is where we get to break out those coloring materials. So, step number 2. Take a second and think about what color comes to mind when you think of your personal growth. Once you've picked that color, I want you to paint your plant or tree with that color until you think it's the right proportion of how much growth you are seeing in your life right now. Now that we know how much growth is happening in your life right now, I want you to pick a color for the things that are preventing growth in your life and start to color certain leaves or branches with that color until the plant matches how you currently feel about your level of growth versus barriers. This picture should give us an idea of what your plant and mind look like right now. How does this image make you feel about yourself and the amount of growth you have now? The reason we color our plant in that way is to gain a visual of where you are right now and begin to think about some of the reasons why we might want to change our behaviors or circumstances. If you're seeing a lot of growth, this may be an encouragement to keep nurturing your healthy behaviors. If you're seeing more of an unhealthy branch color, maybe this is our motivation to try something different. That brings us to step number 3. The last step of this exercise is to return to our original list and begin to think of some action steps that could take care of our healthy branches and potentially prune our unhealthy branches. So, I want you to ask this question for each one of your healthy behaviors you wrote down in step 1. How can I lean into what is helping me grow? Answers to this could be increasing hours in the library that we know are helping us focus more on our classes, or it could mean taking time to journal every day if we're seeing that we're really benefiting from taking that time once a week. Once you've made an action step for each healthy branch, let's look at your unhealthy branches and ask, how can I take one step back from the things that are preventing my growth? Or how can I take a step back and minimize the things that are hindering me? These answers could be small steps that look like going to bed earlier so you don't skip your 8 a.m., or trying to set boundaries with people that are not bringing out the best in you. So, now that we've walked through each step of this process, I hope that you were able to reflect on where you are, how you are doing, and what you want to do next to pursue the best version of yourself. If you want to take your findings and process them more with someone, please reach out to our integrated success coaches in transformative learning. We would love to get to know you and help you reflect more on your own personal growth. Remember, when you're feeling stuck, knowing what to prune and how to prune can make all the difference to determine your next step towards growth.